And we are back. I have to apologize for that interruption before, but my computer decided it was time to basically screw me over. But lo and behold, I am back. We should be joined by Kaide any second now, and then we'll get back into the rest of the talk. Guys, I do apologize, guys. If you would, please share the show. Let your friends, family know what you see here every Tuesday night. Again, guys, like I said, I do apologize for what happened, but I do know one thing. I am in the process of looking for a new laptop. After the interview with Kaide, then we will have our announcement of the of whatchamacallit, of you know the thing I've been teasing all night. So guys, again, just bear with me 2 seconds here. Ooh, excuse me. But we should be good to go now. So I'm just resharing it one more time. I know, guys, we're talking a lot about what we saw on Saturday before the internet crashed on me. So as far as the KO match, like I said before, I'm very curious to see how. Hold on 1 second. I'm very curious to know what the plan is because of the fact of you look at KO. I mean, everybody figured he was going to be in the title picture, and he ended up not being in the title picture. So, hold on 1 second. Just bear with me 1 second here. Alright, there we go. And we do got a camera coming here, so we go down to the camera section. Well, hello, John. Thank you for tuning into the, I guess you can call this Around the Ropes 2, Electric Boogaloo. Because, like I said, I do apologize. We are live now, so, But I want to, I want to get back into the Rumble talk here for a second before we get to, before our guest Kaide Lothbrock joins us. And so like I said, I like that match. Then we also had another singles match. Tag team match per se. We saw DIY take on the team of Motor City Machine Guns, which this is a match that if you're a wrestling fan, this is a dream match. And this is a match that I don't think anybody could have imagined, to put it nicely. And the fact that you look at this match as a whole, and it was fantastic. And we said it on the show on Saturday, but in doing some research on it, we found out that it was actually the first time that the tag titles had been defended on a PLE since WrestleMania 40. That, just put it into perspective there. We went through Survivor Series. We went through all the international pay-per-views. PLEs, sorry. And tag titles were never on until we got to the Rumble. And then we saw a weird thing happen, which I'm curious to see how they go about doing this. Because we saw the Street Profits turn heel. Now, are we going to end up now getting something where it's going to be DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, and the Street Profits going into WrestleMania? Which, if that's the case, sign me up. Sign me up for that, without a doubt. I mean, or is it going to be, because realistically, I mean, let's call a spade here. We're probably going to get DIY Street Profits at Chamber in, the beginning of March. And then after that, somehow I see Motor City Machine. Hold on, I want to make sure something here. Oh. Okay, we are good. That I somehow see Motor City Machine Guns getting involved and all that stuff. But as far as that match, I like that match. Then, as far as the women's Rumble go, I talked about this a little bit before the whole internet, before the computer issue, and I liked the women's Rumble. It was, I mean, we all knew Charlotte was gonna win it, but now who Charlotte goes after is gonna be interesting because if we remember the last time Charlotte won the Rumble, she didn't go for one of the main titles. She went for Rhea Ripley, who was still in NXT at that point, and that's how we got Charlotte won. So I know she's appearing on NXT right now as we're live. So she could, I don't think so, because they tend not to announce it right away. But there is a possibility we could see her going for Julia. Give Julia that moment. But the problem is, I mean, I've been reading reports that they said the WWE wants to put the belt on her. You're not going to turn around to somebody like Julia and have her go up against Charlotte for Charlotte to win the title. I think that would be incredibly bad. It'd be incredibly bad. Realistically, who do I think it's going to end up being? I think it's going to end up being that Charlotte, more than likely. I hate to say this, more than likely, I think we're getting Charlotte Tiffany. I really do. Because of the fact of it's the one that makes the most sense. Which means then probably for the women's Elimination Chamber match, we're probably getting the winner probably face Rhea at Mania. Which, again, I'm hoping that it's Io Sky who wins that. So, I don't know. Overall, my grade for the Rumble, out of 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst, I would give it about a 4, if I'm going to be honest. It wasn't the greatest thing ever, but it sure as hell wasn't the worst thing ever. It was kind of like in the middle type of deal. Hold on. Yes, David, I agree with you 100%, my friend. He said the Women's Rumble was lit. Yes, no, that I agree on. That I do agree on 100%. Hold on. And I like the Women's Rumble. It was done well. It was done right. And David, if you notice also with the Women's Rumble, you didn't really see that many whatchamacallit. You didn't see that many big returns. I mean, we talked about it beforehand. I mean, realistically, you had thank you, John. I appreciate that. By the way, John, hopefully you guys will be watching after my interview with Kaide Lothbrock because I have a big announcement coming. And it's one that if you've been a fan of the show for a while, you're going to be shocked. David said Cody and Kevin's match. Yeah. No, that. And David, we were kind of talking about this earlier, the Cody and Kevin match, when we had the Alabama Slam spot. So it was definitely. Hold on. Crap, I'm just flying right now. Hold on. But yeah, like I said, guys, unfortunately, like I said, we are live right now, so yeah, I'm just gonna hold it like this now until this freaking thing. Ay. Guys, this is the fun part of doing a live show. Is shit like this gonna happen? But hold on. Hold on. But like I said, we got a lot more to get to tonight. Just trying to figure out the current situation right now. Hold on 1 second. Thought I re. Oh shit! Never went through. Okay, guys, just bear with us 2 seconds here. Like I said, unfortunately, minor tech issues here because technology is great. Do 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 do. Give me a second here. But guys, as like I said, I would appreciate if you guys can subscribe to us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, all your social media sites. You can find us there. If you guys also can, I would appreciate it a lot. Go to Spotify, go to Amazon Music. We're on there as well. And if you could, please leave us a review. It would be appreciated a lot. I know tonight we kind of had two versions of the show happen. The first yes, Mark, I am back live. Sorry about that. Yeah, David, I agree with you on that. He goes, only thing that really was Nikki Bella. And that was weird because they kept like making it feel like the 30 spot was gonna be big. And I was kind of surprised by that when all of a sudden she did come out. Wait, did it not go through now? Ay. I just want to make sure. Hold on, guys, just bear with me 2 seconds here. Trying to see if this went through. Come on. Okay, it did go through. Good. All right, hold on. All right, hopefully he sees it. But guys, like I said, I appreciate everybody who came back to watch. Just bear with us 30 seconds because, of course, technology doesn't want to work with us anymore. And all that fun stuff. But, yeah, so like I said, all right. Okay. I see Kate in there, so just give me 1 second. So I want to see here. I just saw we had. John, to answer your question, the announcement will be coming up momentarily. All right, I just want to make sure his camera's on first before he comes on, because, like I said, John, if you give me about 20 minutes or so, 20 minutes, a half hour, will be the announcement. But hold on. I don't know why I just want to wait to see. Hold on. All right. Let me just find out one quick thing here, guys. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Yeah. All right. I think he's about to come back on, so let me bring him in now. Guys, we have not had this guest on in a while, and he very rarely does any interviews, but I'm lucky enough that he agreed to give me some time tonight, especially going into his massive return happening on November 22nd for NYWC as they present Psycho Circus. And if you see this guy, he's been incredibly outspoken about NYWC. But guys, coming back to the show, the Asgardian beast himself, the man who puts on phenomenal matches no matter where he is. You can see him at Excite Wrestling. He was a part of Ace Wrestling when Ace was still a thing, and so much more. Guys, returning to the show, the one, the only, hopefully this will work.
I'm here. The video is not working. I don't know what's going on.
The one, the only, if this would actually work now. What the hell's going on? Nope, wrong one. Guys, as soon as the camera works or the computer, I don't know anymore with this internet. We're just waiting right now for I guess Caide's camera to work. I guess is what we're trying to figure out now. But guys, I appreciate everybody who's watching. I know this has been a very discombobulated show, and again, I appreciate it fully. And these glasses are absolutely killing me right now. But as we wait for Caide, guys, NYWC presents Psycho Circus happening on February 22nd. If you're able to go to it, unfortunately, I'm not able to go to it this year. I would have wanted to go to it, but unfortunately, I have a show in upstate New York that day actually. But guys, NYWC is based out here in Long Island, New York. Obviously, it's one of the more well-known companies out there. Hold on 1 second. I don't know why now Caide's not. Come on. Why are we not? What the hell's going on here? Really? This is what we're doing right now? I don't understand this now. He's in the room. I can see him. Oh, wait, hold on. We'll try this again. I think that went off. But yeah, guys, I don't know what's going on here. The internet's like not working at all right now for let me see here. Can we at least bring him on screen here? I don't understand this now. This is now starting to annoy me. And of course now the show is really like becoming a all right. Caide, just message me on Facebook when the camera situation gets fixed. I don't know what the hell is going on right now. Hey Amanda, how you doing, sweetie? How you doing, honey? But yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on here right now. Let me see something. Nope. This is. I don't get this now. I can't even bring him on now. It's not even letting me bring him in. Ay, ay, ay. Guys, I do apologize about all this. I know this is not what you guys came here to see, and I do apologize for any of this, guys. This is not normally what happens. Okay, I think he's going to try one more time. But guys, normally this does not happen, that we have so many tech issues like this. I've been doing this now for this show for 3 years, overall podcasting for 13. So I kind of know what I'm doing, but obviously tonight I don't know what I'm doing. So guys, again, just bear with us momentarily. Hopefully Caide can figure out what's going on with his camera. But guys, like I said, after the Cade interview, we will have our announcement, and it's in regards to BCW. Amanda, you're only saying that because you're a Nikki Bella fan. But I will say this much though. I thought one of the highlights for me on Saturday was Laura, you're funny. But I don't know. This is, like I said, guys, I apologize about this. This is not normal for this show to have so many tech issues right out of the gate. And we've had Kate on before. So it's not like, and we've had other guests on, so I don't know what it is at this point. But guys, like I said, we're just waiting right now for Kate to rejoin. Hopefully he rejoins soon. Hold on. Guys, like I said, just bear with us 2 seconds here. I'm trying to figure this all out right now. I do want to make a mention also as well. NWA returns to the Long Island area on Saturday, March 1st from the Greenport American Legion. It is the Championship Entertainment Productions and Lucha the Restaurant present NWA Deep Waters. You can see such stars as Joe Ocasio, Giorgio Lawrence, Brian Idol, Tom Latimer, what's his face? The guy known as Damien Sandow. I forgot his name now. And in the NWA. So that's happening on March 1st. Also, let me just go through the other. As far as the other shows that are coming up, Titan Championship Wrestling is back in action this weekend, live from New Jersey. Wrestlers to Rescue 2. I know one of the matches that everybody's talking about right now is the matchup with Blaze Haram and Big Jeff Noyes taking on the team of Jay Outcast and I'm forgetting the other guy's name now, so I apologize about that. So we got that coming up. Blitzkrieg returns to action on the 15th. Obviously, we know about Dynasty returning to action on the 22nd and all that stuff. We got also on the 22nd, we have Immortal Championship Wrestling returning to action as well. They will be in St. Johnsville for Mortal Kombat 6. Dynasty will be back at Empire Live for Heavy as the Crown. Just to make a quick programming note, in the week leading up to Heavy as the Crown will be Dynasty Week again, where I can announce now that Jordan, Nahir Robles, and Sergeant Fury in other interviews will be Black Rose, who, let's be honest, should be going after that title at this point, but that's neither here nor there. And the other one is Fox Finger will be on with us as well, and hopefully more will be announced in the weeks to come. All right, let's try this one more time. I don't know what's going on. So we got that coming up on February 22nd. Obviously, March 1st also. WrestlePro returns to Rahway, New Jersey, to the Rahway Rec Center. And like I said, guys, I've said this every week on the show. I've said this religiously. Guys, if you have the opportunity, go support indie wrestling. A lot of times it doesn't cost you much. You get exciting matches, and let's also be honest here. A lot of times, the matches that you guys will see. I mean, you got Madness at the Mecca as well, happened on March 15th for a Bree combination with their main event that they just announced. And holy crap, I can't believe we're getting this match. The All-Father Darius Carter puts his title on the line against the Messiah of Old School, the one and only Sean Donovan. Oh, yeah. You got two guys in Carter and Ryman who you want to talk about at the peak of their careers. It's only going to cost you $20, $25 to come see them in action. I mean, you can't beat that. We'll probably have. We also have Pro Wrestling Magic happen as well next couple of weeks, and there's Excite probably has a few shows coming up. ISPW probably has 95 shows coming up between now and the beginning of April. I kid. What else? So we got that. Oh, Magic. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Going back to the tag match for Titan Championship Wrestling. Oh, also I know it's kind of a little bit far ahead, but I do want to give a shout out to fellow podcaster Raymond Sanchez, who, if you've been following his stuff, is doing the Respect the Craft Respect show happening July 15, July something at the Mecca. And just announced over the weekend, we will be having Charles Mason take on the aforementioned Darius Carter. So it's safe to say there's two Darius Carter matches that when we do our end of year, end of year show, and we talk about the best matches of indie wrestling, or when Rob Williams does. Yes, okay, thank you, Ryan. I kind of was going off the top of my head on this one, but guys, as I mentioned, the Creative Pro Wrestling returns to Ryan. Is it Limbrook or Melville for the 16th? And what am I kidding? Victory Pro, February 15th, Bayshore, Kings of New York. But Ryan, for the Kings of New York for Creative Pro. Okay, here we go. All right, now we finally got this. Let me give this guy the proper introduction that he needs. First, let me just take Ryan's comment off the screen right now. Guys, joining the show, we've had him on before. I'm glad he was willing to come back, and I am going to apologize to him about all the technical issues. On February 22nd, you will see this guy make his 7-year long-awaited return to NYWC for Psycho Circus. The one, the only. My freaking internet would work. That'd be better.
There we go.
Mr. Kaide Lothbrock. Kaide, welcome to the show. And again, I apologize for all the technical issues.
Something was going on with my laptop. That's why I'm in my wife.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear me? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. What's going on with this now? It said, can you hear me? It says the volume's working.
We can see you, but I can't hear you.
I don't understand. Yeah, it says it's going. Oh, boy.
But as Kaide, like I said, guys, this is one of the perks of doing a live show. You know.
I don't understand.
You're going to run into these technical issues here. But we're professionals, and we will work through them all. As Kaide is getting that all set up, guys, also happening at NYWC. As we mentioned before, Salvatore Savelli puts his NYWC title on the line against the return of Mr. Joey Conway, a man who we have not seen in action in a ring since October, really, with Dynasty, when he attacked Johan Nahara after that match. So it'll be interesting to see him in action. And guys, like I said, okay, it is in Limbrook. So guys, again, go check out Creative Pro February 16th in Limbrook with TNA/AEW superstar, the one and only Frankie Kazarian. Like I said, guys, Victory Pro is doing their show, Kings of New York, on February 15th, live from Bayshore, where this year's Kings of New York tournament's a little different. It will be It will be for tag teams. You know what? While we're waiting for Kaide, I just realized what time it was. Let me do the announcement now. Oh, I couldn't hear him. That's right. I couldn't hear him at all. And I'm on full volume. I don't know what the hell's going on tonight. But guys, hopefully you guys are set, because while we wait for Kaide to join and get all this stuff fixed, let me make this announcement, because due to this announcement, there will be some changes. There is a new show joining this. That's weird. I couldn't hear him at all. And I'm not muted at all on my end. I couldn't hear him at all. Hey, I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm probably going to be looking at a new laptop sooner rather than later. So, okay. Try this one more time. Making his return to the show, you will see him in action on February 22nd for NYWC Psycho Circus. Wait, God damn it. The one, the only, Kaide Lothbrock. Kaide,
can you hear me? Are we good?
For some reason, I can't hear you.
It's showing me up on the thing that it's working.
Oh, let me see something here. Take that out for a second. All right. Kaide, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I can finally hear you now. There we go. Sorry, I do have to apologize about all the tech problems.
It's fine, man. I'm not computer savvy, so.
But how have you been? I know it's been a while since you've been on the show with us.
I'm good, man. I literally just got back from the gym before we were supposed to set this up, so I'm good. I'm all good.
I'm glad to hear. Now, obviously, February 22nd, it's a big return for you, NYWC. For the people who are watching who may not know, can you kind of dive into a little bit of the backstory about why this is such a big return for you?
It's 7 years in the making. It's something that probably shouldn't be happening, but it's happening. I said it before, and I've said it to other people on other podcasts. It's a lot of what has happened with me with NYWC kind of mirrored, I should say. Kind of similar what CM Punk went through with WWE on a much smaller scale. But there was a lot of personal stuff, a lot of things that will never be told publicly. So yeah, it was something I never thought was going to happen. A lot of people from the boys in the locker room to even some of the other owners and new owners to the fans always wanted it, and I was at peace with it. I didn't have a desire to go back. I didn't need to go back, but now we're here.
Now, you just said before you didn't need to go back. What was it that made you want to go back?
So 2020 shot. Crusher Dugan, John Mayer, passed away. He was one of my trainers, one of my mentors, like a father figure to me. Crusher was one of the only guys that actually up and left when I was told to leave, and we parted ways. And he tried for a very long time, constantly, to get me to come back and get them to want me back, and it never happened. And he passed away. And I wouldn't say it's his dying wish, because that's very ridiculous to say, but it's something he wanted to say. And what happened was I had an issue with one of the owners, and things happen, and I watched CM Punk, as again, it's going to circle back to Punk a lot of this, and I watched him walk back into WWE, and I just realized it wasn't worth holding grudges. I'm 37. Well, I was 36 at the time. I'm 37 now. I'm married. It's not about holding grudges, and I wanted to do this for Crusher. So I reached out to the one owner, and I even prefaced it with, I'm not looking to come back. I don't want to come back. And then that kind of started the ball where the other owners were like, oh, well, the door is open. I guess we can see what happens.
Now, when you approached them with the idea, since you just said, you were the one who approached them. Did you think they were going to be so receptive after everything that
So no,
happened?
I didn't approach them. I spoke to the one
Oh,
owner who
oh,
sold his half of the company, just to put behind all our stuff. So I never approached them. They actually. So what happened is this guy, gentleman named John Kerr, sold his. He started the company, and he wanted out. He wanted out for a long time, and he sold. So me and him squashed whatever issue we had, and I guess the other owners got wind of it because there was something that they were like keeping me out or not wanting me back out of respect for him, which whatever. Turns out, according to him, it wasn't true. But so that kind of started this, I guess, ball for them to like, oh well, him and John spoke. Maybe we can see what happens and test the waters.
and I mean, from what I've been seeing on social media, and I've been following NYWC now for the last couple of years, and I don't think I've heard so much talk about with Psycho Circus than I have with this one.
I mean, it's crazy. That's where I cut my teeth. It's where I got my start. Um, it's I don't want to use the cliche term it's home, but it is. It's where Stockade was created and where everything happened, and then I moved on. Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of people are excited. It seems like a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people have been wanting this for a long time, and either it was not my decision or not my choice that I couldn't go back, or it was. So now it is, and it's from the top to the bottom. It's from the talent all the way to the fans have been receptive. I mean, look, you're going to have people that aren't happy, and there are people that aren't happy that I'm back, and because I am a threat to their spot. What they don't realize though, and this is a shoot. There's nobody in that company that's on my level. Quite honestly, there's not many guys out on the independents that are on my level at this point where I am in my career. But I'm coming in to do a job. I'm coming in to perform at a level, and my whole purpose of going back is to raise the bar at that place. So that's what I intend to do.
And I agree about not a lot of people are on your level because the last time I saw you, and actually you're going to laugh, was at an Ace Pro Wrestling show in New Jersey. You took on Dominic De Niro, I think it
Yes.
was. And I said it that night, probably one of the best matches I've ever seen.
I appreciate it, man. No, it's been a long process and transformation for me. Going from Stockade to Cade and the change I've done to my body and mentally and physically. Um, you know, I started this like anyone else. I wanted to be signed. I wanted to be on TV, and ultimately that would be great. But where I'm at now in my life and what I'm doing, and getting to do amateur strongman competitions and travel around to other gyms and be invited to go to other gyms and having the ability to go wrestle against some of the best people I've had. I'm having fun, and a fun Cade is a dangerous Cade because I just get to be me, and I've had opportunities. I've done a lot of stuff, man, and to hear stuff from people like you saying it's one of the best matches I've seen. I've heard it from fans recently. It makes this 20 something 21-year run that I've done. Not it's like okay, maybe I did rattle a few pots and pans and make some noise that people acknowledged.
No, and I get that. Trust me, I definitely do. But you're talking about, with the travel and stuff, with going to different gyms. If you had to, when you go to a gym, what makes a gym, in your opinion, a good gym compared to like, let's say like Planet Fitness, for example?
Anything's better than a Planet Fitness. It's the equipment, it's the vibe, it's the community. It's one of my favorite things to do now. Is honestly like I like taking shows where I can leave earlier and I'll go find the local gym. But it's the vibe, it's the atmosphere, it's the equipment. Um, you know, sometimes like the it's like anything. You can go to an Applebee's in say New Jersey and it'll be the same thing as an Applebee's in Florida or Tennessee. I like going to those places even when I go to eat in other states. I don't want to go to the Applebee's. I know what I'm going to get. I want to go to the hole in the walls. I want to go to where the locals go. So I always do my research, but it's all about the atmosphere, the equipment, and just the vibe. Like I've gotten I found some really awesome gyms, and I found some really bad gyms. And I know I shit on Planet Fitness a lot, but at the end of the day, a gym's a gym, man. If you can get a workout in, you get it in. But I make it. For me, I enjoy you know going into those old school type gyms and getting a good workout.
No, I definitely. I always look at going to the gym, and I did sign up for the gym. I just have been so busy with everything, I haven't had a chance to get back. I know that's one of the things that it comes to with the gym is you have to make the time to go to the gym. But when you're going to the gym, are you the type of guy who has headphones on, listening to music,
Oh yeah,
or what?
I'm.
What's the music that you're playing?
Dude, it's. I listen to everything. It's anything from, heavy metal to Amon Amarth, Black Label Society, Ozzy. Then there's just a mix of stuff. There's country. There's all sorts. It's just whatever I like. And my playlists change. I'll take songs out. I'll add songs in. There'll be maybe 1 minute there may be a wrestling theme that I just is in my head, or I may hear a song or a new song. It rotates, but mainly, honestly, it's a lot of Black Label, it's Motorhead. Um, there's a lot of Ozzy, a lot of like old school type metal, throwing a little bit of country depending on the song because I am a redneck at the end of the day. Um, but yeah, it's a lot of stuff like that. And then like there'll be like maybe like a Britney Spears cover by some metal band or some weird obscure, cover song or just weird stuff that, whatever. It's a lot of stuff that gets me motivated, a lot of stuff that just kind of triggers that. And there's actually a guy, he's married to a former pro bodybuilder, Dana Lynn Bailey. His name's Rob Bailey. He has a clothing company called Flag Nor Fail. He has a lot of music, and it's a lot of like very motivating gym type stuff. So I listen to a lot of that as well. Just stuff that, just puts you in that headspace to go out, to lift that heavy iron and stuff.
No, I get that, and when I do go to the gym, that's like with me also. Like I'm very big in like the Metallica, Iron Maiden, stuff like that. Stuff that make that I'm not gonna sit there and go, okay, when's the song over?
Yeah, no, you don't want that.
No,
I mean, like I said, there's and then there are days though I'll work out with somebody. I don't have my headphones. It really does, it really does depend on what I'm doing. A lot of my training is very heavy. I lift a lot of heavy weight. I do a lot of strongman type training, so it's always got a lot of times I can't have my headphones in because or my ear Raycons they'll fall out. So you just kind of tune out the world and focus on the weight.
no, and I totally get that. You were talking about doing the body building stuff as well.
No, I don't do bodybuilding. I do. Trust me, I can't be a bodybuilder. I've had friends in the bodybuilding community or people at my gym that wanted to, offer to show me how to count, your macros and all this stuff. And I like eating too much. I'm a fat kid at heart. I'll always be a fat kid. I can't sit there and count my calories and macros and portions. I like, my joke with all my bodybuilder friends at the gym is if it's not counting the weight on the bar, I'm not doing it. So my training, what I do, and I could just be crazy in my own head, and I could just be lying to myself. But I try to train for what I do, which is pro wrestling. So a lot of my stuff, and I love strongman. Strong. I fell in love with the sport of strongman during the pandemic. So I do a lot of heavy movements. I do a lot of heavy benching, but I don't do conventional benching. I do because of wrestling. For as long as I'm beat up, so things don't work the way they should on normal people. Um, but I do standing bench. I do, which is a machine, which plate loaded. I do a lot of heavier compound movements. Basically strict pressing. Basically it's a lot of pressing, a lot of squatting. So when you think of your three basic movements, your bench, your squat, and your deadlift, so stuff like that. And then you throw in my accessory work with that, but it's a lot of heavy stuff, and that on top of the wrestling is putting a beating on my body. But I love it. If I don't work out I'm a mess. I'm like, I just don't feel right. So I'm glad I'm at that point, and hopefully I'll be as healthy as I can and keep doing it and have fun.
and I get that. Trust me. And I've seen the pictures that you post on Facebook, and you definitely see the transformation, big time.
Yeah, I know. I drive a lot of people crazy with that. What a lot of people don't realize about that, I'm not doing it. I mean, one, it's for me because I suffer from body dysmorphia, which a lot of people in the gym community do, and I'm never satisfied. No matter I'm never satisfied. Like I'll set a goal. For example, I wanted to do 900 pounds on a belt squat, and I hit that, and now I want to hit 950. Then I know after that I'm going to want to hit 1,000. So I'm never going to be satisfied. Um, but the pictures are also because I do have sponsors. I'm sponsored by a clothing brand called Suture Strength, which is a Viking-based clothing gym brand company, and also Bucked Up, which is a supplement company. Um, I started as an ambassador, where basically like you reach out to them, and then they give you a discount. And now, because of everything in the wrestling, they reached out to me about being an ambassador. So, I have to do my part of it, which is sharing stuff and everything. And I know it gets ad nauseum, but it comes with what they've done for me, which it's not I'm not making a living, but you know instead of me having to pay 50-60 bucks a month for pre-workout or protein, they send it to me for free, so I can't complain.
Hey, to get something for free nowadays is not a bad thing.
Exactly. That's what it is. So
But now, with the weight loss and everything, do you think that has helped keep the career going as long as it's been going?
that and basically not doing death matches pretty much anymore, and kind of putting that to rest. And honestly, that all happened at the pandemic. It's also a lot of other things. I don't really like the um, the community around the deathmatch wrestling. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of infighting and stuff. And when I was younger, I wouldn't care. But now, like I said, I'm gonna be beating a drum. Keep saying I'm older and everything, but I am. I don't really have time for drama or games. I don't have time for this person's hated this month, or this is the bad person at that month. I don't make judgments on people. I do it on my own accord. I'm not gonna listen because you know Susie doesn't like Billy because of what. It's not my problem. And unfortunately, I feel like in the deathmatch world that it happens a lot, but mostly also um, my body. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm beat up. My body hurts. I'm not like a lot of these other guys that'll be in a locker room and talk about it, but I'm in pain. Carrying 400 pounds around for a long time doesn't help you either. So yes, losing the weight, stopping doing. For a long time, I was doing the cactus jack elbow off the apron to basically concrete every match, every show I was on. And before the pandemic, I was wrestling probably 2 to 3 times a week at minimum. So you're talking, eight, say at minimum 8 matches, 7 matches, if that. And I'm doing that elbow probably, I would say 4 to 5. It catches up. It catches up to the point where even Mick Foley was like, you should start this, save it for the big matches. But young and dumb and trying to make a name, you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, losing the weight was a big help. Took a lot of pressure off my back and my knees. And also stopping the death matches extended it. I don't see myself doing this past 40. I just, at some point it's like, all right, man, I don't really have anything to prove. So it's like I said, this is really about fun. And I have a business. I got my house, obviously I'm in. I got another house that I have. I'm doing well in terms of the outside of wrestling. So I don't want to risk that. And I have to be smart with what I'm doing going forward.
And you just said before though, that you would be. So this kind of leads down to the next question. Let's say you were to walk away tomorrow from pro wrestling, and not tomorrow. Let's say coming out of Psycho Circus, that you say, you know what, I'm done with pro wrestling. I've done everything. Would you be able to sit there and say, I'm satisfied with the career I had?
Yes and no. I think anyone, for the most part, would say they're not satisfied. There's always going to be something you've wanted to do, or had a goal or aspiration to do. But yes, I mean, if I stopped after that, I'd be okay, because everything I've done in my career, I did on my own. No one opened doors for me. Nobody held my hand. I mean, people helped me, but nobody really kicked in the doors for me. When basically when I got in, then people tried helping. Um, I got a lot of things I want to do. I have a lot of things, and then they're not really like, it's not about getting signed or stuff like that. There's a lot of people out there that I do want to work with, at least either again or one time. And I think they're all attainable. It's just right place, right time. But if it doesn't happen, I can walk away doing, with my head held high, going, you know what, for a fat kid from the middle of nowhere, Long Island, you did a lot more than a lot of people, would think. I actually had a conversation with a good buddy of mine. I was telling him that, I had an opportunity when it was Impact Wrestling. Tommy Dreamer was trying to get myself and these two other guys named the Dawsons into TNA Impact, and everything was pretty much like rocking and rolling, and it was looking like, oh, this is going to happen. And then unfortunately, the dark side of the ring, plane ride from hell, happened, and Dreamer wound up getting himself into some trouble, which whatever, that's not my business. and it never happened. But I look at it as like, I had an opportunity, or I was close to something that a lot of people don't even get close to having happen. And the same thing happened. I was offered to go to Japan through Tajiri. And at the time, I lived alone and I had an apartment and a car. And the money that they were offering me to go, it wasn't feasible. I would have come back basically homeless. I lived alone. I've lived alone since I was 18. So I needed to weigh the options. And I was extremely bummed because that was a major goal of mine. But I looked at it as, you know what? I was offered something that a lot of people never even get offered. Yeah, I turned it down, but I was still offered it. And I can sit here and be like, well, if I lived at home or this, or this, it would be different, of course. Um, but you got to take the negatives and turn it into a positive. You know what I mean?
No, and I get that. Now, you mentioned before that you still have some stuff you want to do before you officially hang up the boots. Are there some buildings either in the local tri-state area or anywhere in the country that you would like to still have the opportunity to work in?
I mean, I've wrestled. I mean, as far as the East Coast, I've wrestled in pretty much. I mean, besides obviously like Madison Square Garden or Hammerstein,
Yeah.
Which I think Hammerstein would be possible with the right place and the right company. MSG is obviously, we all know who you have to work for to do
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
and you never know. But I've wrestled in terms of independent level. I've wrestled pretty much every building on the East Coast. I've wrestled inside of the Mecca, everyone calls it, which I think is it's just a dumb name. But I've wrestled in the Mecca. I've wrestled in the ECW arena. I can't really think of many other buildings that kind of have a reputation like that. But I mean, I don't know. I don't really. I mean, it's weird because when you think about arenas, especially on the independent level, you think of obviously think of the ECW arena, but I don't really know many buildings that are like held in that regard like that. And I could be wrong, and I'm not trying. I don't know. Um, I mean, the only other building that I know people that has a moniker is the Mecca, but like everyone and their mother runs out of there. So, but yeah, no. I mean, listen, I'm the type of person I don't care what the building is, man. I've wrestled, in I wrestled during fairs with a mariachi band playing next to a bullpen with actual bulls. I've wrestled in parks. I've wrestled in behind school. Like, you're an indie wrestler, man. It's the circus comes to town. Wherever you can put up that ring, it's going to be a show. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, a goal was to wrestle in the ECW arena. I got to wrestle in the ECW arena in a death match against Matt Tremont. I mean, eh, that's in my opinion, that's a cool fucking moment. I don't mean to curse. I don't know if we're allowed to,
You're allowed to
but
curse.
okay. But that's a cool moment, like wrestling in CZW. You're doing a death match in the building that my trainer Mikey Whipwreck, cut his teeth. Like that for me was cool. And if I get to do it again, great. I've wrestled for in some cool buildings when I was wrestling for Blackcraft. We did got this. I don't even know what it is. It's like a big giant like music venue hall. It held like 5,000 people. That was cool. But I don't really know. I mean, maybe the building was. I don't even know if PWG still wrestles. Maybe that building in Rosita, if they still operate out of there. I don't know. I kind of don't really follow it as much.
And I don't think they still. But to go back to your other thing though, about buildings that have like that moniker. I mean, I've talked about this before because one of the other things I do is I do play-by-play now for Battleground that does their shows in Philly.
The arena, yeah.
Yeah, and I think off the top of my head now, I've been back into wrestling now for the last 10 years. As far as those buildings, I think the only ones really is the 2300 Arena, Hammerstein, and really the Mecca are the only three that really like on like an independent level.
On the East Coast, yeah. Look, NYWC has a building, but it doesn't have that reputation.
No,
Excite Wrestling up in Binghamton, they have a suite set up in the mall that they run in. It's probably, honestly, in my opinion, the best arena on the East Coast. It's just, it's in Binghamton. It's not even in Binghamton. It's in Elmira, which is an hour out of Binghamton. But it's a beautiful setup. It's just so far out of the way, and it's weird because I work for Excite, and it is part of New York, but it's like a whole different animal. It's a whole different world up there. So but yeah, no, I mean, look, on the East Coast, it's the ECW, the 2300 Arena. I know everyone runs out of the Mecca, but because the ECW Arena is so expensive, but
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, if you're an indie wrestler on the East Coast, and as long as the arena's renting, that would be like your Cork and Hall, I guess. To kind of compare it to something.
No, and I get that, and go back to your thing that you said about Excite. I get that. For all the times I'm traveling to Dynasty, for that, and they do shows up in the Albany area.
Yeah, you guys are. Yeah, that's an Albany. I mean, look, this Elmira show makes Albany look civilized. Like it's that out in the boonies, man. Like it's like mall and farm. It's crazy.
Yeah, but Kate, you gotta realize I'm also making the trip from Long Island.
Oh, listen, brother. I do that. I do that trip 2 to 3 times a month, man. I
Yeah.
feel you. It ain't fun, especially when you got to leave at 10 o'clock at night and get home. You walk in the door at 3 o'clock in the morning. Trust me.
Oh,
You know.
and it's funny. Like I'll do I've done the trip for Dynasty already, and I'll do that in one day, and people will laugh at me. They're like, well, what time do you get home? I'm like, and then mind you, the most I do with the show is I help with the camera crew. I'm not getting home till 3 o'clock in the morning, but I've
Yeah.
done it before, and I'll do it again.
I mean, everyone plays a part, man.
Exactly, and I've been to Excite before, and Excite I know is one company that I definitely want to go back to again. I know it's been a while since I've been to an Excite. The last Excite show I was at was you guys were doing a show in Johnsontown, I think.
Johnson City, yeah. Was it at the old mall?
Yeah, at the mall.
Yeah.
Main event was Mike Skyros taking on Sean Carr for the title.
Okay.
And the only thing I remember from that was Sean went up on the ladder and the ladder broke.
Sounds about right.
But I remember going to that show, and that's one show. But I agree with you though. Making the trip up there, I'm surprised my car hasn't like just given out on me yet.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's part of the business. You got to make those drives, and I've been doing it for a long time. And there's times I don't want to do it, but you got to just go in and just put the miles in. They'll cut. Look, it all stops for all of us eventually. It's just about enjoying it while you can.
I always laugh. I tell people I don't get paid like an indie wrestler, but I travel like I'm one.
There you go. Right, look, man. If you're helping out the show, you're just as important part of the show as anyone else.
A couple more questions I got before we wrap things up here. And this one's sort of maybe a tough one, but in your 21, in your career, are there any ring announcers that come to mind as far as ones that you like the way they announce you?
Larry Legend always. Larry's probably the best out there. Rich Palladino up in Beyond Wrestling was really good. Cheyenne Ortiz when he was ring announcing. Cheyenne's a gem. God, he's gonna kill me because I can't remember his goddamn. Chris Gullo. He was the guy that Excite was using for a while. Very, very professional. And I was fortunate. I had Steve DeAngelis from ECW. Him and Mikey got him to do NYWC probably for like a year and a half. So that was really cool. So, those 4 or 5 gentlemen I named. But I don't think any. I mean, look, if you're talking about like the creme de la creme when it comes to ring announcers on the independents, it's Larry Legend. Hands down, Larry. I think Larry is like the only traveling, only ring announcer that gets flown to California and Texas and all these places. So, if it was me, it'd be Larry every single match if I could have my way.
No, I've heard. I've not heard him ring announce before. I've heard him ring announce in the ECW building when he announces for Blackout. That gets interesting.
Yeah, no, Larry. I mean, Larry is a ring announcer and a character. He can be a gimmick and he can be a ring announcer, but he's fantastic. Rich Palladino is very good. I mean, there's a lot. There's a few guys out there that and unfortunately for them, it's for me, I have a better shot at getting signed than they do because you only need one ring announcer or 2 ring announcers. So it's rough. And look, for every good one, there's a lot of bad too. But it is what it is.
No, I totally get that. And then, favorite match that you've been a part of?
Dude, I get asked this a lot. It's way too hard to answer because there's so many. I mean, there's so many matches I can name for different reasons. I always just kind of cop out and say it hasn't happened yet. But I've been fortunate to wrestle a lot of talented guys and have a lot of cool matches for different reasons. Whether it's Mikey Whipwreck, my trainer, or Eddie Kingston, who took me under his wing, or getting to share the ring with Raven, who's one of my favorites, or Sean Carr and Tony. I mean, it's way too hard to say, oh, this is that one match. So I can't answer that. I would love to tell you, but it's one day I may say, oh, me and Mikey Whipwreck at NYWC this year. And then I may wake up tomorrow and go, no, it was me and Tony Nese, or it was me and Eddie Kingston, or me and Danny Moff, or me and Homicide. Like it's hard. And I'm not trying to name drop, like it's just so hard to really pinpoint like this, you know, um, it's tough. It's a hard question.
Okay, I got one more that's maybe a little tougher. Toughest opponent.
Oh man. There's been a few. Masada. If anything, Masada's a tough son of a bitch. He'll hate me, but he's a sweetheart and he's a teddy bear if he likes you, which he does like me. But honestly, Masada's probably, in my opinion, like the toughest person in wrestling on the independents. Necro Butcher's tough just because I don't think you could hurt the guy. Danny Moff's tough, but I mean, if I had to pick, I would say Masada, just because Masada's to me, Masada is the ultimate professional wrestler. The dude doesn't get credit for what he can do in the ring in terms of his in-ring work, but he also will, he'll do some of the craziest stuff you'll see.
No, I've seen him before. I saw him at the ECW building. He took on Christian Ross at the last.
Okay,
the second, not this past Battleground show that they did back in December, the one they did in October, that I was lucky enough to call the action for.
That's awesome.
And that was also the same show where Nick Gage showed up.
Oh, okay, yes.
So yeah, that was, as I said it on the broadcast that night, that was probably the Mount Rushmore of deathmatch wrestling in the building at the same time.
Because Drake was there too, right?
It was Drake Younger, Shellac, Nick Gage, and Masada all in the same building.
Yeah, I mean, I think Danny Havoc deserves to be up there. It's a hard one. I mean, Mount Rushmores are just, people go, oh, the Mount Rushmore wrestling. It's like, how do you name 4 guys? Like, but definitely those 4. I mean, I love Schlack to death, but I think even Schlack would be bow out for Danny to be put up in there. Danny was something special. Danny was a legend, but I mean, still, if you said, hey, the Mount Rushmore 4 active, and I hate to, put it that way because Danny is no longer with us, but if you had to say that, I think that's a valid argument.
And it was just that they're all in the same building because Drake and Shellac had a match. Nick Gage showed up at the end of their match, and Masada, like I said, took on Christian Ross. And
I'm sitting there going, man, that's old school CZW right there,
Yeah, that was a night that I'm never gonna forget. Just like I don't think there's gonna be with February 22nd with Psycho Circus fans who are going to be in attendance. I don't think they're going to forget what happens that night.
No, man. This match has, to touch on that before we go, the Circus was a match created by Mikey Whipwreck, my trainer. And when Mikey, hung up his boots for one of the many a times he did, it became my match. I kind of picked up the mantle of it. And because of my time doing deathmatch wrestling, I brought in a lot of those elements and really raised the bar. As far as, I would love to tell you what the story is of the match, but there's a lot of real life animosity between everyone that's in that match. Like, you got, myself returning after 7 years, which is a big one. But what a lot of people don't know is that 2 years after I was told to leave, Bull James left, who was Bull Dempsey in WWE NXT. And he's got a lot of animosity towards the owners, or I don't want to say the owners, the owner of the company, this guy, Shane. You got the Benson brothers, who are phenomenal talents, Luke and CJ Benson, who don't care for them. This kid, Christian Nunez, and then Mike Norman, who is a legitimate owner of NYWC, cannot stand his other partners. There's a lot of personal stuff, legitimately. What's pulling the curtain back, this is a a story, but is a lot of real life issues in this story. I don't like NYWC. I don't like a lot of the people that work there. I don't like the owners besides Mike Norman. That's true. And a lot of people think that, I don't know what happens February 23rd. I can't sit here and say, oh, February 23rd, I'm gonna agree to a bunch of dates or agree to a bunch. I don't know. I really don't. You know, I don't know what the other guys are gonna do. And to be honest, we don't like each other. I don't get along with Bull. He doesn't like me. I don't like him. I don't really care for the. I don't really know the kid Christian Nunez. I don't think There's like I said, this is the first time in my career I've been in a match where I'm like, I really don't know what's gonna happen. Um, and I don't mean that like, oh, story. I'm being honest. Like there is a lot of real life animosity when going into this, and the fact that this is happening in itself is wild because when I showed up there in November, no, yes, November, um, I showed up there uninvited, unannounced, and somebody decided they would try to be a tough guy and punch me in the nose, and they wound up knocked out on the floor, and that was all legitimate. There's no work about it. It's a legitimate thing. The guys in the locker room, there are certain guys in the locker room, guys like Joe Conway, who I think is a hell of a talent, but he doesn't want me there because he's worried about his spot and he knows I'm better than him. They all do. All those young kids, from these kids named A1G to Jorge La Bestia, Michael Mastretta, and they're all phenomenal talents. Michael Mastretta is a phenomenal talent. Sal Savelli, phenomenal talent. Giorgio Lawrence, phenomenal talent, but they're just not me. And this is pretty much like um, a bunch of junkyard dogs playing, and the wolves are coming back. Is what it is. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like I'll be honest. Like this literally could be a one and done. I don't know, but a lot of people are excited about it, and that's what matters to me. And I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna do what I do, which is steal the show and perform on a level that not many people can perform on. And for one night only, they're gonna get that old school deathmatch version of that was Stockade, that is now Kaide Lothbrock, and I am bringing a lot of those elements to that match.
All I know is this. I know, unfortunately, I won't be able to be there because I have another show that I have that night. But I know as soon as that match goes on to YouTube, either if it goes on to yours or NYWC, I definitely want to see it.
I'm sure it'll be out there, man, because like I said, the amount of love I've been getting, like when fans are hitting me up and saying, man, like we saw you at VPW, but like what you're doing at NYWC is how did they drop the ball on you? And like, or how would it take this long for you to be back? Like it's crazy and it's humbling and it's awesome. And it's giving me more motivation to do this because and it's not like one or two people. I'm talking messages every day of people showing me that they're going to wear my shirt or the signs they made, and it's awesome. And it's going to be one of I'm sorry you got to miss it, but I understand you got obligations. But it's definitely going to be one of those shows that I'm hoping people talk about or they're like, "Yo, did you hear about that NYWC show?" That's my goal. People like there's some buzz out of this because, like I said, whether I'm there the next day or not, if I can help bring some attention to that place, despite how I feel about the company and the owners. I can put I can close that book. That's also what this is. This is I didn't get to close the book on my time in NYWC my way. Well, February 22nd, I can close the book my way. You know what I mean?
I think going back to what you said before about fans, and I'll wrap it up on this with fans saying how how you were presented in one company and how this one is so much different. As somebody who's kind of looks at wrestling from a much different perspective than some fans do, my assumption is that it's because it's the realism of it, that they don't know what's real and what isn't, and that's what I think makes it so intriguing.
Yeah, it's a lot of things. You're talking about a company. I'm not going to shit on anybody, but NYWC. All the majority owners were also wrestlers at one point. It's a company that's been around for a long time. Look, the best way I can compare it, and this is not a shot at anybody, and if they are offended, I don't care because don't give a shit. It's AEW compared to WWE. I think everyone can look at that and know what I'm talking about. That's all it is. It's about putting the priorities where they are, knowing what you have, knowing how to utilize it, and that's it. And I wish everyone the best of luck. I like I said, man, when I hang my boots up, I hope I hope Long Island independent wrestling is alive and thriving. And if not, hey, you know what? It is what it is. But with people
Hey,
like you and all the other podcast people that are out there that are, helping guys like me and all these other companies get the word out, it's a good thing, man. So I appreciate what you do and everyone else. I know I'm not exactly Mr. Personality or friendly when I'm around, but it's because I'm very serious about what I do when I'm in and around wrestling. But I do appreciate, like I said, I know you said you drive 3-4 hours just to hold a camera, dude. You're just as important as I am. Just because I'm in the ring and you're on the floor doesn't make me any better than you. And a lot of people in this business that are on my side of it seem to forget that they don't appreciate, you make us look good. You holding the camera or the girl holding the microphone or whatever you do, you're helping me out, and I appreciate it.
oh, that's all I try to do, and that's all I've ever tried to do with this podcast. And if I can bring some light to some of these companies who may not get the recognition from other podcasts, and that's not me shooting on other podcasts. I'm just saying that's just. I mean, I look at it this way. When it comes to the show, I'm very much straightforward type of guy.
That's what you need to
And
be.
yeah, I'm very much like people will sit there and will get pissed at me for what I say, but then 3 or 4 months after it happens, they're like, John actually had a point.
So sometimes it takes people a while to digest the truth, man. That's just life.
Exactly. But Cade, you know that, like I said, I know it's been a while since I've seen you in action. You are one of my favorite guys to see
I appreciate it.
in action. And where else? I know you have Psycho Circus coming up, but where else can the fans find you? Where else can the fans connect with you on social media?
My social media is I have the Asgardian Beast. Kaide Lothbrock there's a fan page for everyone. My Facebook is private and personal, due to my wife, so you can blame her. Um, Kaide Lothbrock on Instagram. I have Kaide Lothbrock on YouTube. Pretty much has like anytime one of my matches gets up there, like I'm able to get a hold of it. It goes on YouTube. As far as my schedule, this Saturday I'm at Atlantic All Star Wrestling, which is I should know. I think Woodbury, New Jersey. It's down south by by I can't remember the name of the place. But it's down south in New Jersey. I think Woodbury, New Jersey. I should know it. That goes to show you. Then I have a private event for a friend. He's putting on. He rented out a wrestling company to do a birthday party show for his daughter. So I'm going to do that for him because I'm a good uncle. Then I have the Psycho Circus February 22nd, Excite Wrestling February 23rd. And then March, I know I have the 22nd. I believe it's the 22nd. I think I'm wrestling Steve off. I have March 23rd, which is, I believe, an NYWC date to be announced. And then the 29th, I have NYWC. And I do believe, I don't want to put anything out there, but I do believe a certain company in New Jersey, run by a guy that makes some pretty damn good empanadas, might be putting on a show. So look out for that, hopefully. And then I think there is one or two things earlier in March as well. I just don't have my schedule in front of me. And then April's getting booked. It's crazy because I literally said 2 years ago I don't want to be busy, and I'm still pretty busy. It's humbling.
Well, all I'm going to say is this. If that owner who makes those empanadas does run a show, I will be there.
That's what I said. He's a very busy man. He's got a lot on his plate. I have told him outright, don't even bother. You got too much going on. But he's stubborn and he doesn't listen. And he taught me a lot. So if he happens to open up the empanada truck and decides to run a show, I'll be there and some other. And I believe in May, I will be making my debut for a company that runs predominantly out of the Mecca, and which has been something that's been a while in the making. So usually we'll be seeing me and pop up in a few new places going forward.
Well, definitely look forward to seeing you again in the ring, and I wish you all the luck on February 22nd for Psycho Circus.
Same to you, buddy. Keep doing your thing, man.
All right, Kate, thank you. The door's always open for you. Anytime you'd like to come back on, door's always
I
open for you.
appreciate it, man. Thank you again.
All right, take care,
Take
guys. Bye-bye. All right, let me just, okay. Guys, that was Kaide Lothbrock. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that interview. I know the internet was kind of wonky on that one, but guys, and hopefully you guys, like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed that interview. That interview meant a lot. And oh, okay. But guys, like I said, I want to keep things moving here because guys, we have a big announcement. Hold on one second. I want to see if I can get the owner on so we can make said announcement. Hold on one second. But guys, Kaide even said it himself. If you have the opportunity to go to NYWC, go. It is incredible. Like I said, I wish I was able to go. And I wish I was able to go on. Hold on one second. I got an idea here. Bear with me 2 seconds here, guys. I'm trying to work this on the fly as we speak. Oh, no, hold on one second. I'm trying to pull something off here quickly. If this will let me. Come on. Move a little quicker there, you damn internet. There we go. Oh, but I do want to make a mention. I know we mentioned this on the show on Saturday, but I do want to send a congratulations out to one Mr. Triple H on making it to the Hall of Fame. I thought it was an award well deserved. Hold on. Come on. This is why I love having this internet that decides to crap on me. Come on, you bugger. Come on. Trying to see. Okay, there we go. Good. Come on. But oh crap. Okay, I just realized what time it was. Oh boy. Thank you, David. I appreciate that a lot. But guys, like I said, I'm gonna wait here a minute, see if this guest gets my message. About hopping on. Yes, he did drop a lot of hints about Ace, apparently. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. But guys, don't worry. Hold on. Let me see if I can get somebody else on who might have some answers for us. Hold on. Oop, wrong one. Come on. And then, guys, we'll wrap up here in a few minutes. Just want to check one thing here. Come on, there we go. Come on. There we go. Hold on. Guys, I might be able to get some answers. But yeah, like I said, hopefully we might be able to get some answers here. Because that's kind of big news. So while we're waiting for one of these two guests to show up, let me make this announcement, guys. We've been talking about this for a while, but let me make this announcement now because starting on, I think we're doing Thursday after. I think we're doing the Thursday after or before Valentine's Day. And guys, yeah, John, that's solely because of the technical issue we had. But guys, making this announcement now. Starting in February, I'll put it this way, there will be a new show joining this network. And that new show focusing strictly on BCW wrestling, BCW Breed Combination Wrestling, will be BC Dub Weekly, where we will be airing Thursday nights, and basically it's going to be a half-hour show talking about all things BCW, heading into all of these shows, including shows like Madness at the Mecca, Queen of the North, the eventual anniversary show, and so on and so forth. But guys, that is the announcement. BC Dub Weekly starting in a couple of weeks. With that part being said, I also want to make another mention that the YouTube channel will be changing hands, as the YouTube channel will no longer be called Around the Ropes Podcast. It will now be called the new and improved ATR Network. So this weekend, be on the lookout for a new ATR Network Facebook page. And just look at everything on Around the Ropes as well. Don't worry, this show's not leaving, but we are at a new show and possibly more shows to come. But guys, that's all from me for tonight. I do want to thank everybody in the comment section from the first part and the second part for commenting tonight. It meant a lot to me. I want to thank Kaide Lothbrock, who again you can catch him in action on February 22nd at Psycho Circus. And yes, Randy, that is my plan, is to put the new ATR Network on a shirt. Which, guys, again, if you hit that little QR code right up there in the corner, you can get your own Around the Ropes merch and so much more. But guys, again, I appreciate everybody who watched this show, who watched both halves of the show. I know we had the minor technical issue midway through, but guys, again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything. You guys don't know how much this means to me, how much I appreciate everybody's help, everybody's support, and all that stuff. But guys, we are out of here. Again, guys, breaking news story is that starting in a couple of weeks, again, not sure the exact day yet. I'll pose up one more time. BC Dub Weekly gets going, as that will be focusing obviously solely on the company called BCW. We're hoping that our first I don't even want to announce the first guest. You'll have to wait and see. Guys, again, you can catch that over on our YouTube and our Facebook page. Again, guys, this weekend, look for a new and improved ATR Network page. Again, guys, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and so much more. But for everybody here and for everybody there, thank you guys again for watching. Appreciate all the support. And we'll see you guys next week.